Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with the losers match of Group A of the Ever OSL from 2004. And we're going to have Max is the purple Zerg player. He's going to be at the 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock position, I guess. And he did not have a very strong showing against Xellos. He just kind of made some drones and then died with his defenses on the way to a timing push that he saw coming. So a little bit lackluster there from Max. Julyzerg also, he'd lost the game early, but he held on a lot longer instead of just dying immediately. It took Rock 15 minutes to actually seal the deal, you know. So Julyzerg's going to be the Zerg player at the left side of the map. And how crazy would this be though if Julyzerg, the reigning champion of the on-game Star League, actually lost 0-2 in the group stage and was eliminated early on, and one of the big threats of the Star League was just taken out by like a double cheese or something like that. The first game against the Rock was pretty cheesy, but the thing is this is Zerg versus Zerg, and later on in you know, like the Jaedong years, Jaedong, I don't want to say solved or perfected ZVZ, but he basically had gotten as far as you could in ZVZ. His win rate in ZVZ when he was winning was like 90%. It was like literally there was a period of time where he was like 90% ZVZ for like a couple months. And he eventually lost some games to players like Effort and Luxury, I believe. But anyway, point being, this is not that time. And ZVZ has not been solved by anyone. And Julyzerg is probably one of the best ZVZers out there. But ZVZ is still, can be a rock, paper, scissors sometimes. So this is interesting. Both players going for gas first. Before getting a spawning pool, so that's kind of intriguing. Really wanted to get their gas going early so that they can get probably their, I guess maybe to get their lair and their speed going as quickly as possible. But yeah, so both players also scouting each other with drones, so they kind of know exactly what's going on. So we're not going to see a rock paper scissors win or anything like that right here. Both players probably going to go for an expansion as well. And oh, actually, so that's interesting. We see the expansion going down for Julyzerg in like a non-optimal place. Which did Max put his in a weird spot too? That was, I don't know if I just saw that wrong, but instead of trying to toy around with the enemy drone and lose time that hatchery could be making, he says, you know what, fine, I'll just put it over here. I'll have some of my mineral patches be a little bit farther away. It's actually not that big of a deal in Zerg vs. Zerg because you're usually so low on drones that it's not a big problem to have your hatchery far from some of the minerals, because you're only going to be mining it maybe half the minerals anyway. I mean, I guess I should just say you can keep yourself only mining at like a few of the close mineral patches. Max still has his drone alive, doing some more scouting here, by the way. And we are seeing that Julyzerg is continuing to mine gas. The drone is being a little bit annoying in the gas line. So yeah, so it's not like a huge thing, and I think it's probably a smart move for Julyzerg to just go ahead and take that expansion as quickly as possible rather than put in the optimal spot. But yeah, Max has his in a weird spot too. So maybe it's just a quirk of this map that I'm not aware of. So I apologize if I just don't know this map very well. This is Mercury, by the way. And yeah, so and you can see there Julyzerg mining pretty much fine. So it looks like actually Max is probably got a decent spot for his hatchery too. It's a little bit closer to the minerals, and both players getting their spires too. So it looks like we're going to see what would equate to a longer game in Zerg versus Zerg in this period of time, because as I said, you can have a quick, you know, if someone does a 9 pool versus a 12 hatch, they can just win, you know. And consequently, if you do a 12 pool versus 12 hatch, the 12 hatch usually wins, right? And so it's kind of like an interesting situation where if you don't know what the other player's doing, you can be in a bad situation pretty easily. But both players going for similar builds here. We're seeing Julyzerg coming in with some harassment, is going to try and kill some drones off, but Max is making plenty of Zerglings. He's going to be able to corner those Zerglings. It looks like this is a smart move too. He's actually just going to run by and get into get into Max's main and try to do some scouting, since he can't actually do much damage there with those two Zerglings. And actually, he might have been looking to distract Now that one Zergling, again, trying to get some drone kills. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. He sees the lair complete, though. So, but here's the thing. We just got the speed upgrade finish for Julyzerg, and he's running with a lot of Zerglings. Max is making another hatchery at his expansion, trying to make a better choke point there is what it looks like. Better fighting position, trying to guard that bridge. He's got no sunken colonies or anything, though, so it just comes down to the concave. Who has the better angle? Both players dancing back and forth, trying to bait the enemy's Zerglings into a disadvantageous position. Julyzerg getting some free hits down on that hatchery, and he's going in with a lot of Zerglings. It looks like Julyzerg has a few more Zerglings here. Max, of course, has his reinforcements closer. Is he going to force that hatchery to die? Is he going to force a cancel on it? Max going in with just barely enough reinforcing Zerglings, but no, Julyzerg is reinforcing as well. They're slower, of course, but the money that went into that hatchery has not gone into Zerglings or a sunken colony, and so Julyzerg just actually takes the advantage here. He's going to be forced to cancel that hatchery if he does. Oh my god, is he going to? Okay, he does cancel the hatchery. I thought he was going to actually lose the hatchery there, which would have been catastrophic, losing all that money for no gain at all. And it looks like he's actually remade that hatchery. It's hard to tell what exactly I saw there, but I did see a building go down. Might have been a sunken colony, or a creep colony, rather. No, there is another hatchery there, and Julyzerg continuing to attack with these Zerglings, just being super aggressive. And Max has that creep colony there. I'm not sure why he hasn't made it into a sunken there. It finally turns into a sunken, but he needs some static defenses. When you're behind on the Zerglings, you need static defenses in order to even the odds and try and come back into the game, but Max just doesn't have it. And again, Max just not being prepared for the attack, and Julyzerg actually almost kills off that sunken and then retreats in order to try and go into the main, but he's going to go into the main and try and kill off some drones, and in the meantime he's going to distract for his next wave of Zerglings to come in and finish off that sunken colony and do some more damage to the natural expansion while he's running these lings around. The spire is completed, so Max is currently making a few mutalisks, and so that might be able to help him deal with this situation. But no, Julyzerg made his mutas earlier. We hadn't seen Julyzerg's base in a while, and it turns out he was just ahead on everything and has his mutalisks in Max's base way earlier than Max has his mutalisks out. Max making Scourge. He does actually pick off one mutalisk, but Max is just way behind here. And Julyzerg, even with the sunken colony at his natural to prevent any of those random Zerglings to get a counterattack in, and he's just going to start picking off these drones popping out of the hatcheries. No more Scourge coming in are going to land on those mutalisks. So, you know, he's slowly picking them off. But that is all that he has left. That's all that Max has left, is this handful of drones hiding, cringing, cowering together around that gas extractor while Scourge slowly come out and pick off these mutalisks one by one. And Julyzerg has more than enough mutas back at his main. Look, you can see he's kept them back there for the moment to finish off the Zerglings. Now that those Zerglings are dead, probably going to go back and use them to try and attack Max, I would imagine. He can't keep producing Scourge for very long. And yeah, so there's a flight of several mutalisks coming across the map to finish off Max. So Julyzerg is not going to get 2-0'd. It looks like, you know, anything can happen, I suppose, but it looks like Julyzerg is not going to get 2-0'd from this group and be eliminated. And what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is Julyzerg is going to be going up against the loser of the winners match, which guess who that is? It's the Rock. He's going to have a chance at revenge for the cheese build that Rock did in the first game, and Rock is going to have an opportunity to 2-0 Julyzerg, the reigning champion. And what a story that would be if he's able to actually just like beat the reigning champion, not just once in a fluke cheese build, but actually twice in a row, and you know, basically establish his stance as a dominant player in the Star League. So Rock has a chance here to really show himself. But there's Max finally GGing after bleeding out slowly for the last few minutes. There's Julyzerg, member of the Pirates of Space team. Such a great team name. Taking the win. And remember, this is played on a different day than the other game, so Julyzerg's going to have another week to prepare for his second game against the Rock. But it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, so Max goes out 0-2. I don't think that's super surprising. You know, I was talking in my little intro video about how all the accomplishments of all these players and how a lot of them, even that didn't have accomplishments, were considered very strong. And Max, I mean, it takes a lot to get into the OSL. He had to actually win his games in the dual tournament in order to get into the OSL and be in the round of 16 at all. And so that's an accomplishment, but definitely considered one of the weaker players and dropping out 0-2 in this group stage. So anyway, but GG to Max, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. So we're going to go to the final game of the group between Julyzerg and The Rock. It's going to be a rematch. It's going to be epic. Whoever wins will advance to the round of 8. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks very much for watching. GG.